thinking of her.
Hello there, friends. It's your boy here with some all the mods. This is a 1.10 mod pack. Pretty much includes all the mods that have been updated to 1.10, and I haven't even played vanilla 1.10 yet. So yeah, I'll just play it modded, and it'll be good. Oakley dokley. So I came into this cave, spawns like right over there. There was another cave inside this cave. There's also caves inside that cave that I made. I dug that cave. A lot of cows in here. They're really nice guys. Really love them. But we're gonna get to ore processing now because I mined a lot of things. I didn't realize how long I was mining, but it was quite a long time. So yeah, for power generation, I'm gonna use Actually Addition's coal generators, and I found some black quartz ore off in some caves, and you just smelt that up, and it gives you black quartz, and so then we can make like a machine casing or frame or something, I don't know. Or just some black quartz and iron ingots, like that. What is it? Iron casing, never mind. And then we just need a bit of coal and some cobblestone, and that makes coal generators. Then to store that power, we're going to be using Ender IO capacitor banks, because it's like the only power storage in this entire mod pack, pretty much. You didn't need that many capacitors, but I'm going to use them later. Iron and redstone, and there we go. So these coal generators, they generate 30 RF per tick, but they do it pretty efficiently. They generate quite a bit of RF per piece of coal that you put in there. We'll just let that run for a little bit while we make our sag mill and alloy smelter. Alright, so the alloy smelter, wow, I smelted up a lot more iron than I actually needed. Oh no, I didn't. Ender IO stuff is still good. Still pretty good. We need a couple machine chassis, there we go. We're gonna need a cauldron. Oh, why did I just make 2 cauldrons? I'm so dumb. Oh well, now we have a novelty cauldron. Yeah, okay, we still have enough stuff, so it's fine. Alright, piston done, and then that will allow us to make, once I get some flint, the sag mill. Beautiful. So we're gonna sag mill all of our ores and then smelt them up to double them. Let me make a few chests. That's actually really unfortunate. I would have been able to make an iron chest, but I made 2 cauldrons. So let's just do it like that, I guess. We can configure this to pull from here and push into there. This will pull from up here and push into there. And we can grab all of our ores, do the iron first. Alrighty, so I don't really want to do this cave home thing. It's kind of degrading. I don't know. It's embarrassing bringing my cow friends over, and they're just staying in a cave. So while these ores are doing their thing, I'm gonna go and build a more temporary house. And there's a pretty cool spot that I found over in the chaparral in this area. Over there. So I'm thinking this area is pretty cool. It's right on the edge of this redwood forest, which is nice. And the chaparral is a pretty cool biome. And I'm gonna try and build a little hobbit village. I don't know, I think it'll be pretty cool, hopefully. So I'm gonna get to work on that and just see where it goes.
The truth.
So it's been a little bit, and I thought I would update you guys on the progress I've made on the house. So as I said, it's going to be Hobbit-ish, and I think this is pretty hobbity. So here's the front, and here's the inside. Nothing too special, and there's more room to expand if we do want to expand this house. I don't know exactly what's going to go in here. I think this is going to be mainly storage, because I want to eventually, I want to kind of split everything up into different little homes like this, because these are not very hard to build, and I think I want to populate a little village here. But I think this can get a lot better, but we're gonna need some nether materials for this place to look a lot better. And to get to the nether, we're going to do some Tinker's Construct. So I need to do a little bit of resource gathering, but not too terribly much. Alright, so we are over here at the village where I got the spruce wood and I got this sweet illumination wand. And we are here because there is one of these purple slime islands. And we need this purple slime specifically for our Tinker's Construct things, and of course we'll take the green slime as well, but we're mainly here for the purple slime.
This some serious gourmet shit.
Alright, so now that we got all the materials we're probably gonna need collected, let's go ahead and get to crafting. So first we're going to make all of the tables and whatnot that we're going to need. Alright, so if we just place our crafting station, tool station, part builder, stencil table, pattern chest, and part chest, this should all be one big multi-block structure, just like that. And all of our seared bricks are done, so we should have all the stuff we need to make a full smeltery here. Oh, no, that's not the controller. Once we put the controller down, it lights up. Perfect. And then a couple faucets, and I made a casting basin and casting table just in case I need both. So before we do any smelting, we need to make up all the parts that we're going to need. So we're going to make a pickaxe so we can just hit up the stencil table and get all those and pop them right into the pattern chest just like that. And okay, then for both of these, we're going to make stone variants of them. And then we'll just get some gold smelting so we can make some casks for both of these. And we're also going to want the sharpening kit pattern as well, and then we'll just make another stone one. Alright, so now that all of our gold is smelted up, we can go ahead and make molds for all this, and I believe, yeah, it's only 2 ingots per mold still. Perfect. Alright, then in the tool station, everything goes in and we get our stone pickaxe. Alright, but I did say that I want to go to the nether, and I just made an all-stone pickaxe. It's only got 16 durability as well, which is kind of a problem, and we can take care of that right now, because now in Tinker's Construct you can actually replace parts. So for the tool rod, let's go with bone. It's got a decent modifier and decent durability. Also it gives you the fracture trait, which just increases the damage of your tool, I'm pretty sure. So we can just replace that real quick, and we already have 163. Then while we're at it, we may as well just change the binding into paper, just so we get an extra modifier. That's always nice. So we end up with 150 durability, which is quite a bit better. But we still can't mine obsidian, so how are we going to get to the nether? Well, that's where our purple slime comes in. So if we throw that in the smeltery with a bit of iron and a bit of stone, we get molten night slime. And here is where the sharpening kit cast we made comes in handy. We'll just pour that in. And the exact ratio is 4 stone, 1 slime ball, and 1 iron ingot. Will get you 1 ingot of night slime. So let me grab some flint, and then we can throw that in the tool station with our pickaxe. And now we have a fortified stone pickaxe, and it's fortified with night slime. And night slime is actually able to mine obsidian, so we basically just made a stone pickaxe that can mine obsidian. And I'll probably throw a bit of efficiency on there. Okay, I'll keep it like that. 1 level of haste seems good enough to me. So let's go down and get a little bit of obsidian, and then we can finally go to the nether. Whew. That was a lot of fun. Actually, it wasn't that slow to mine obsidian. It was pretty quick. It was not bad. But before we go in, we're also going to put a little bit of luck on our pickaxe. And I went ahead and slapped some fortune on there because our goal in the nether is to get in, get some glowstone, and get out. And we made it, and there's no glowstone. So that's wonderful. Are these guys mad at me? Are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me? Oh no, oh no. Excuse me, sirs. Things are bad. Things are bad. Things are bad. I hate you. There's nothing in here. There's nothing in here. I've just trapped myself. I've just trapped myself. Excuse me. Oh my lord, have mercy. Excuse me. Oh no. Oh my gosh. There's... oh my god. Is that really necessary? What am I supposed to do against that? What am I supposed to do against that? Oh my god. Get out of my life. Oh, frick. Oh, no, I'm going deeper into the cave, dude. Oh, of course this guy sticks around. Glad to see you, bud. Try and catch me now, idiots. You guys are stupid. How'd they get up? Oh, crap, I shouldn't... oh, snap. I should not have called them names. No! Oh, my Enderman! Oh, no, dude, get the stuff, get the stuff! No, no! No. Get the stuff and get out, dude. Get the stuff and get out. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, I think I'm gonna do... no, gas, you idiot. You stupid idiot. Leave me alone. This is a great escape. No. No. Get me out. Oh god, that was so close. So you may be wondering why I actually went to the nether in the first place, and to be honest, I'm kind of wondering the same thing. That was awful. But it's because I want to do some stuff with Chisels and Bits, which is a pretty sweet mod. So it involves chiseling blocks, and you can get some insane detail. So we just place a block down, we have our chisel here, and we can just left click, and it'll take out little bits of the block. It's pretty insane. And of course that's a lot of bits. If we're chiseling a lot of blocks, we got a lot of bits. So we definitely need to make a chiseled bit bag. And this is going to store an outrageous amount of bits. So if we hold left alt, we can get a menu with different modes of destroying. And I'm going to be doing some chiseling and bitting in this place. I have some pretty cool ideas. Instead of the stairs, we're going to make a more circular looking archway kind of thing. I think it'll turn out pretty cool. Alright, so I've got a basic kind of circle shape here, and I just kind of want to rotate this around, and I think it'll turn out pretty circular, I'm pretty sure. But I don't want to actually have to chisel every single block here, and you don't have to. You can actually make some chisel designs. All you gotta do is right click on something you want to copy, and then you can paste it anywhere. Well, not anywhere. If we set this to placement mode, then we can place it anywhere. This is going to use bits from our bit bag. And you can also just craft up these pieces like this. So if you don't want to use that for some reason, you can hit this up. But I'm now realizing I probably want to make this kind of circular as well, make this more pillar-like. So let me start making that. Alright, so here's the pillar kind of design I got going. So what we can also do, instead of just making these positive chisel designs, we can make negative chisel designs. And negative chisel designs, bucket, they will, if we right click, they will take away bits from blocks that are already placed. So now we can make pillars kind of like that. But I'm going to go ahead and, I think, design the pillar kind of things out here, and then I'll copy and paste them all along the inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a bunch of these kind of circular shapes. Oh, that was a ton of them. Holy crap, I shouldn't have made them. I didn't know I could even make them. God. And if you actually crouch, then you can place these wherever, and you don't have to like be constrained to the whole Minecraft grid system. You can also shift and mouse wheel, and it'll change the rotation. Okay, yeah, I definitely like how that looks. I think that looks pretty cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. And now that I've made changes to this piece of wood, I also want to mirror those changes onto this other side. And a really easy way I can do that is just by making a mirror design, like that. And then you click on whatever you want to be mirrored on the axis you want it to be mirrored. So I want it to be mirrored on this x-axis, so I'm going to click on the x-axis. We can craft the positive up with the mirror design. and then that will give us a mirrored version of this. So now if we set the mode to additive, and then we just kind of come around the other side, make sure it's lined up right, and then we just click, it'll add all those oak wood parts from over here onto here. Oh, okay. It was because I didn't actually have enough of those oak wood bits to fill the whole thing in, so it only did part of it, I guess. Just use placement mode, and we can place those all around like that. Alright, so now that we got all that designed, all that's left to do is actually come in and start placing them. Okey dokey. So it's been a while, and I think the house is pretty much finished for now. I might chisel and bit the outside, but that's a lot of work. I'm just gonna leave it. But here's the inside, all chiseled and bitted out, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think this looks pretty sweet. And over here in the longer part, I made a more ovally kind of design, which I like. And I went ahead and moved everything from the other place, except for all the Tinker stuff, over to here. And I put it all in these storage crates from Actually Editions, which are really sweet. They're pretty cheap, just completely made of wood, and they store a crap ton of stuff. Also, I brought the sag mill and alloy smelter here, but I do need to hook these up with some power from this capacitor bank. I like the way this looks, but it's not the most conveniently placed setup here. So I will need to get a bit of Ender IO conduit going. We'll make 3 sets. Then we can also just make a bunch of binder composite to make into conduit binder. I also made another alloy smelter because this thing is going really slowly. Alright, so we can at least get started making some of this. The iron is almost done now. Alright, we made just enough to reach all the way back here, which is perfect. And then that should send power into all these. Alright, so we got everything hooked up now, and I've been thinking about that traumatic nether experience, and it kind of really makes me want to get a decent set of armor going, instead of these boots I found in the chest somewhere. So to do that, we are going to get into the Roots mod. This is a pretty new mod, but it's kind of a magical mod where you draw power from nature. So I went around and I punched a bunch of tall grass, and I got a bunch of old roots. So if we just craft those up with some stone and some seeds, we get the runic tablet, and this is the in-game documentation for roots. So there is this pretty cool kind of spell system, but I'm gonna skip this for now as none of these are too useful to me currently, and I'm gonna go straight to the ritual stuff so we can get into some of the armor and tools that this mod has. But to start with the rituals, we need some verdant springs, which you get from breaking crops. And I've only gotten one of those, and I did start a wheat farm out here, but it is terribly slow, so I'd like to make an item that'll speed this up a little bit. And to get that item, we're going to have to do some more Actually Edition stuff, which is alright, this mod's pretty cool. So we're going to need an atomic reconstructor. So we need an iron casing, and then let's go ahead and make that a reconstructor. And I'm going to go ahead and put it here, seems like as good a place as any. Does that cable actually reach? It does. I am sick. So once we place that down, this is going to just periodically shoot some lasers out, and that's pretty annoying, but we can set this to shoot only with a redstone pulse by just right-clicking with a redstone torch, and it'll toggle the redstone mode. Then if you press a button, anytime you press the button, it'll shoot the laser. So you're probably wondering what this does. I'll tell you in a sec here. So I'm just going to throw some iron in front of it, and it's going to transform the iron into a new item, the E01 crystal. And this works for like redstone, gold, diamonds, and a bunch of other stuff. And quick tip, this got me, you have to throw the item at the very end of where the laser hits. If you throw it right there, it doesn't work. But anyways, now with these E01 crystals, we can make a ring of growth. So we're going to need a basic ring, and then just surround that with crystals and our seeds. That'll give us the ring of growth, and then we can charge that up in our base capacitor, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we can. Alright, I think that's enough charge for now. let's go outside, and whenever we hold this ring in our hand, it should make the crops around us grow faster. Oh snap, look at that! So as long as we have this in our hand, the crops will grow quite quickly around us, so we can start breaking these here and try and get ourselves some more verdant spray? What were these guys? Yeah, verdant sprigs. Alright, so it did take a while, but it is a 1 in 40 chance apparently to actually get one of those, so yeah. Now we can finally make the casting altar. So this is what we're gonna actually do the rituals on, but we do need some blocks to place around the altar to do certain rituals. And one of those blocks would be some mundane standing stones, and we're gonna need 8 of those. And we're also going to need some attuned standing stones, but I do need nether bricks for that, so I gotta run to the nether really quick. I'm gonna get to netherrack. And we're going to need 4 of those, so I need 16 nether bricks. Alright, we've got our nether bricks without a scratch. So we can go ahead and make the attuned standing stones. And then for some rituals, you need to burn some incense. So we're gonna need some incense braziers, and I'm gonna make 4 of those. Alright, so we're gonna need a bit of space for this actually. I don't know if it'll fit here. Alright, we're gonna place the mundane standing stones 2 blocks away, and then we're going to make a circle of them. This is a square, not a circle. I apologize. Alright, then the attuned standing stones go kind of even with the casting. Yeah, it is the casting altar. I don't know what I'm saying. And then these incense braziers, they have a range of 9 by 9. So they have to be in a 9 by 9 area of the casting altar, essentially. But I'm just going to place them here because I think that looks kind of nice, ones like that. Look like that. So here is our little altar. I'm going to move this eventually, but for now this is pretty good. Now to do our ritual for our armor, we're going to need to burn a bit of incense. And one of the things we need to burn is some oak bark. Now to get oak bark, we're going to have to make a bark knife. So it should be a little something like this. Yep. So to get bark from a tree, all you gotta do is run up to a log somewhere. I'll just do this one, and just hold down right click and it'll take out a random amount of bark before the tree, or before the log breaks. That time we only got 1. Alright, and we're gonna make our armor sort of by infusing or upgrading iron armor, so we do need a full set of iron armor. And then we're just gonna combine the armor with a diamond and a piece of wood. And normally to start a ritual, you shift right click with an empty hand, but no ritual can be found because we have to burn the incense. So this particular ritual needs 1 wheat, 1 oak sapling, and 2 oak bark burning. So you just place them inside the incense brazier, you can see them floating in there. And then you just take a flint and steel and light those up. Those will start burning, then we can shift right click with an empty hand and the ritual starts. And off pops the first piece of our armor, the wildwood boots, and as you can see, when equipped, we get increased health regeneration. But that's only, I believe, if you have the full set, or you definitely want the full set to get the full effect of the armor. So we will keep going with this. Alright, so we got the chest plate, and now finally the helmet. And a little Andrew quick tip quickie here is that you can keep using the same incense burning. You don't have to keep replacing the incense. These things burn for quite a while, so you can just keep using them. Alright, so now we have all of our armor. If we put that on, it looks pretty cool. And we also get increased health regeneration, as the little tooltip says. Alright, I'm pretty sure the regen on this armor is either broken or they just took it out. I'm thinking it's just not working because it still says increased health regeneration, but I haven't gotten any health back. They could have just removed it because it was really OP before, But that's kind of okay, because this armor's still pretty good for the cost. It is in between iron and diamond armor. Also, it's unbreakable, so it'll regain its durability slowly. Alright, so now that we have the armor, I think it's time to get a little bit of weaponry going. So I'm going to set in a bunch of different barks into my incense. We're going to put a diamond, a verdant sprig, and a piece of stone onto the altar. Let's light it up and start this ritual. Alright, so that finished up, and we got a runic focus. So we're going to use this runic focus to make a pretty good sword. Now the thing about this sword is that we can add extra stats onto it by burning certain items. So I went ahead and made 2 more incense braziers because you can put up to 4 extra status kind of modifiers onto it. And there are a bunch of different options for all the different barks, but acacia bark just seems like the best. It's going to add just flat damage onto our sword. So we also need to burn a golden apple and a golden carrot. Then up on the altar we will have glowstone, our stone sword, and the runic focus. And I almost forgot to light everything up. There we go, now shift right click, and that'll start going. And there we have it, we get an engraved blade. And we got spikes 4 on it because we put 4 pieces of acacia bark on it. Now this sword is as good, or it has as much attack damage as a diamond sword. I believe it has a slower attack speed though, which isn't that big of a deal. And we're pretty decently equipped now. We can maybe defend ourselves in case of an attack. Alright, and while we're on a roll, we may as well just make some tools here. So I got the stuff we need to make those. 1 gold, a verdant sprig, and a wooden tool, along with some oak bark burning in the incense braziers. Will make us living tools. Alright, now these tools are just as good as iron tools, but they automatically repair themselves like the armor does. So yeah, I think that's about all I've got for this episode. In the next episode, we are definitely going to take care of our power situation. I definitely want to hop off these coal generators pretty quick here, and we'll figure something else out as well. So anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to put me in the family. Credit cards and the scammers, hitting the licks in the van. Legacy, family, my NC look like a panda. Going like I got my time.